Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Fears grow that Trump will use the military in dictatorial ways if he returns to the White House. Oh, no. Oh, no. Among those mentioned for Trump's defense secretary, Christopher Miller, who served temporarily during his administration, Michael Flynn, and Mike Pompeo. And there's Milley, of course, on Trump's left, the one that left all those billions and billions of dollars worth of equipment, guns, ammunition, planes, helicopters, food, laptops, you name it, he left it. It's incredible. Let's read on. And these are the same people that are criticizing him. Donald Trump is sparking fears among those who understand. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. Those who understand the inner workings of the Pentagon, that he would convert the nonpartisan U.S. military into the muscular arm of his political agenda as he makes comments about dictatorship and devalues the checks and balances that underpin the nation's 2-century-old democracy. We're not a democracy for the 1000th freaking time. We're a republic. Unbelievable. It's incredible to me. A circle of appointees independent of Trump's political operation steered away from ideas that would have pushed the limits of the potential power in his last term, his only term, according to the books they've written, testimony given to Congress, with zero evidence of any of it. Most were gone by the end. In the new term, many former officials worried that Trump would instead surround himself with loyalists unwilling to say no. No, he's going to surround himself with loyalists and people that go along with his agenda, but not just somebody that says yes every single time. He's too smart of a businessman for that. Way too smart. Trump has raised fresh questions about his intentions. Oh, no, I got to do this again. By putting forward a legal theory that a president would be free to do anything with impunity, including assassinated political rivals, so long as Congress can't muster the votes to impeach him and throw him out of office. They were asked during one of the Trump trials. That technically is true. The lawyer said, here's the deal. If a president commits a crime, he is impeached, put on trial in the Senate, and when found guilty, and of course, if he's obviously does a horrendous crime, he'll be found guilty, and then he'll be arrested and stand trial in a regular court of law. It's exactly what he said. Now bracing for Trump's potential return. Dun, dun, dun. A loose knit of public interest groups and lawmakers, sounds like a cabal to me, is quietly divesting plans to try to foil any efforts to expand presidential power, which could include pressuring the military to cater his political needs. You mean the huge stack of executive orders that Joe Biden had the day he was sworn in? He stopped pipelines. He opened up the border. He waived billions in student loans. All those things he did not have any power to do. And a whole bunch of other stuff. We can go into this about electric cars and certain appliances can't be used, and this is banned and that's banned. You know, how about the fact that Joe Biden's DOJ, and specifically the FBI, raids people's houses that walked. One guy just got arrested yesterday, I believe, that spent 76 seconds walking into the Capitol building, and then he walked out. And of course, guess what came to his house? Armed military from the FBI. Full gear, full military gear with what they call those bash sound bombs and automatic weapons and tear gas and dozens of them for a guy that walked into the Capitol building for 76 seconds. So you mean that kind of military? So far, 1,200 people have been charged for the so-called January 6th insurrection. If there was an insurrection, it was the worst insurrection in the history of the world. You mean that kind of military might? How you go after and use the FBI and military to go after a parent whose daughter was sexually assaulted in a bathroom in Loudoun County in Virginia, and then it was covered up. And then when the father raised hell, they end up raiding his house or the FBI is taking down license plate numbers of parents who come to school board meetings to complain about what they're doing with bathrooms and trans issues in school? You mean that kind of dictatorship? Oh. Part of the aim is to identify like-minded organizations, create a coalition to challenge Trump from day one. Those taking part in the discussion said, some participants are combing through policy papers being crafted for a future conservative administration. My God, these people, whoever wrote this is so full of crap. They're also watching interviews that Trump allies are giving to the press for clues how a Trump sequel would look. I got to do this again. Yeah. I'm just going to breeze through this. If you want to stop the video and read it. We believe this is an existential moment for American democracy, and it's incumbent on everybody to do their part. It's not a democracy, moron. America's commander-in-chief has vast powers at his disposal, some well-known, others not so much. Some lawmakers and pro-democracy advocates worry there may be nothing stopping a president mobilizing the army to intervene in elections. Police American streets or quash domestic protests. Yeah, he should have done the Insurrection Act in 2020 when cities were being burned down wholesale. Dozens and dozens of people were killed. Hundreds and hundreds of businesses and residences were burned to the ground. In fact, they tried to burn a federal building to the ground with federal people inside it, I believe FBI, so they wanted to burn them alive as federal employees. Trump didn't pull the trigger. Some lawmakers in Capitol were aware that Trump might invoke the Insurrection Act to involve the armed forces in face of domestic protests if the midterm elections don't go his way. They should have sent out the Insurrection Act on, was it May 26th, when they surrounded the White House, burned down a couple of Secret Service guard shacks, set on fire one of the oldest churches in the country across from the White House, a church that James Madison attended, putting the president, the first lady and his family and other cabinet members and officials in a bunker because they were afraid they were going to overrun the White House? Why aren't those people in jail? There's an array of horrors that can result from Trump's unrestricted use of the Insurrection Act. Oh, God. Trump's vow to seek retribution on behalf of those he says have wronged and betrayed has sparked fears he would use potential powers more broadly as a cudgel against political foes. Compounding things that, he remarked to Fox News last month that he'd be a dictator for only the first day. I saw that. He said, what's the whole thing? What he said after that? He said it tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, I wish he hadn't have said it. The guy's got a weird sense of humor, and he said, only for one day. And the only thing I would do as dictator would be drill, baby, drill for oil and gas and close off the border. That's it. That's what he said. He later posted on a social media site that he had made the remark in a joking manner. He did. And then he told Iowa tonight when he won the caucus in Iowa, I'm not going to have time for retribution. Detractors aren't buying it. Here, I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's so ridiculous. I'll breeze through parts of it. The fact of the matter is, these people are scared to death. Not because Donald Trump is going to misuse the powers of his office. It's because he'll have control of the DOJ. He'll appoint the FBI director. He'll appoint the attorney general. And he'll clean house of all the people that are political in the FBI and the DOJ. They have no business being political. And I think the vast majority, I bet you 60, 70%, just want to do their jobs. And all the people that have broken the law and did things they shouldn't have done are going to be called to account. That's not retribution. That's justice. Let's read on. Judge Florence Pan, one of Trump's lawyers, for example, set military secrets or the elite SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival with impunity. And I explained to you what he meant by that. Oh, listen to this. Representative Adam Smith, a top Democrat in the House Armed Services Committee, said of Trump, he's going to be a creative mother effer when it comes to trying to figure out how to abuse his. How does he know? Hey, Representative Adam Smith, I could use some stock tips. How about some lottery numbers since you can read the future? Whatever your guess is, open up your imagination a little more. Dun, dun, dun. These people are so crazy. Oh, God. Soon after the 2020 election, as Trump was refusing to concede defeat, he upended the Pentagon leadership, firing Defense Secretary Mark Esper, even though at that point he was a lame duck. Yeah, people was jarring, said Mark Milley. Yeah, same Mark Milley will have billions behind Afghanistan and got 13 of our service members killed. How about this? I'm going to leave it with this. How about the fact that the intelligence services and the FBI and the Department of Justice all basically threatened social media sites in 2019, especially 2020, to take off what they wanted to take off. That way, Biden would have a better chance at winning. And it broke God knows how many federal laws and state laws, threatening people, threatening them. Well, it would be really tough if your organization got all kinds of audits from the IRS, or all your individual, the CEO and all the board members did, and we can make your life a living hell. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Oh, God. I'm going to scroll through this, and you can read it if you want to. In policy videos posted to his website, Trump said he would provide record funding for our military, which he did before. It's through strength of the military that wars around the world were avoided. You notice that Vladimir Putin only took the Crimea when Obama was president and invaded Ukraine when Biden was president. You didn't see the North Korean dictator running his mouth when Trump was there. In fact, Trump, unescorted, with no security and no guards, stepped across the line into North Korea. You know what kind of a set of balls you got to have to do that, let alone be president? You're going to see a massive house clean at the Pentagon. Trump wants to put his philosophy on how to win wars. Yeah, the president gets to do that. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Unbelievable. A couple of times in 2020, Esper wrote, Trump broached the idea of firing missiles into Mexico to destroy illegal drug labs. Esper told Trump it would be an act of war. Trump replied that the U.S. could deny involvement. How about, really? How about act of war? How about hundreds of thousands of dead Americans just from fentanyl alone? You don't think that's not an act of war? Hundreds of thousands, and the vast majority were our young people. Send a couple of drones in to get some illegal drug labs. I have zero problem with that. Let the chips fall where they may. What is Mexico going to declare war on us? They already have, by the drugs that are coming across the border. My sense is that Trump always came to the Defense Department to solve his biggest problems. Unbelievable. I'm just going to throw this. Here's Blumenthal. Was taking steps akin to placing sandbags around the building before a hurricane hits. That's what they're going to do to get these people together in these organizations. He's looking for a hurricane, and he's waiting for it if Trump wins. This is the same Blumenthal, by the way, that lied about his service in Vietnam. Lied. Oh, God. Try to pull out of NATO won't be so easy next time around. That's not what Trump said. We were played for chumps. Almost all of NATO, especially the richer countries in NATO, i.e. Germany, were not paying their fair share under the NATO agreement. Their fair share is 2% of their gross domestic product. And they weren't paying. And Trump said, listen, why does the American taxpayer always got to foot your bill? So you can have all kinds of social programs and health care because you don't pay anything for a military. And we're paying billions, if not trillions, and we're borrowing the money to look out for your country. He threatened it. And guess what happened? Oh, miracle of miracles. They started paying their fair share. And it's because of that, NATO has all new equipment, better armed, better trained, better soldiers, better equipment all the way around. Oh, God. While Trump never invoked the Insurrection Act, he believed the protesters in 2020 surrounding the George Floyd killing made his U.S. look weak, and it did. and wanted the military to squash the demonstrations. Not squash, just stop them. Stop them from burning down parts of major cities wholesale. Sending troops in American streets is often a bad idea, but things had unfolded. Oh, here we go. Kent State from 1970, when 4 students were shot protesting the Vietnam War. My God, my God. I'm 67, and I was 14 when that happened. I'm just going to, like I said, scroll through this slowly, and you can read all this. I definitely think that General Flynn would be interesting in helping his friend Donald Trump in the next administration, Flynn's brother said in an interview. He added, the DOD secretary is a role that requires congressional approval. That's a lot more challenging for someone as much as a lightning rod as General Flynn. He's not a lightning rod at all. He knew where all the bodies were buried, and they wanted him gone. Nominating Flynn may also draw attention to his appearance on the conservative network Newsmax in December, when he said Trump could use military capabilities to rerun the election in swing states if he chose. That's never going to happen. That option is never there. Like I said, I'll slowly scroll through this. The starting point for a second Trump term will be the last year of his first term. No kidding, stupid. What, you going to count the Biden years? So if he wins again, his administration will take off where he left off on January 20th, 2021, and then it'll be January 20th, 2025? Well, of course, idiot. That depends on who you ask. Who pushed back on him? Dog, I'd do this again. I'm sorry. We're just 30 seconds away from the Armageddon clock when it comes to democracy. That's enough. You know what? That's enough. I think I've wasted enough time on this crap already, these people. They are out of their minds. Out of their minds. And this is NBC, who isn't nearly as bad as MSNBC. It's incredible to me. Fear grows that Trump will use the military in dictatorial ways. It just makes you want to sigh. These people have influence and power both. Dictatorial powers. Things that the DOJ and President Biden have done are dictatorial. It's incredible to me. And many of the governors in 2020 closing down everything, including my state of New York. I live upstate. I don't live near New York City, thank God. All over the country, dictatorial powers. And yet not a peep about any of them. They've already done it. This is just hyperbole and guessing and scare tactics. They're scared to death that Donald Trump's going to win again. And I'm glad they're afraid. I'm glad they're afraid. How's that saying go? Revenge is a dish best served cold. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.